Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Before I get in, I wanted to just talk a little bit about where I've been. So if you're not too fussed on that and you don't want to hear me yap, that's cool. I will write a little timestamp for you guys to click on to just get into the video. But if you want to hear me yap for a sec, I just wanted to be a little bit just like transparent in regards to like where I've been, because I know a lot of you guys that watch my channel and keep up with me on socials and stuff, you know that I deal with like PCOS and PMDD, and sometimes like it can really just take me out of my structure and my routines and just my body really. And I don't know, I feel like I fell into a point where I was just I feel like I was following kind of like old patterns where I was just working myself and focusing on getting like the content out and getting the work out, and I wasn't like prioritizing like my routines and my health, mainly because I feel like that aspect of life I'm kind of clueless in. Like when we talk from like a spiritual perspective and going deep into things, I'm super good at doing it, but when it comes to just like the physical and health and the body, like that's something that I'm learning and it's unfolding for me, and that my body is teaching me and my spiritual journey is bringing me back to and teaching me. But for a while of like, it's like I'd get downloads of like what I need to do, but then I'd keep going on a rhythm and a pattern that truthfully doing so much inner work and growing so much doesn't fit me anymore. And I kind of just got to a point where I was just burning myself out, and that's why you see where I'd like have a bunch of videos and then I'd go away for a little bit, and then I'd have a bunch of videos and go away for a bit, because I would realize I was burning out, take a month off or a couple of weeks off, and then when I would go back into working, I would just fill my schedule back up and overwhelm myself. And of course, stress with PCOS and PMDD and any hormonal imbalance, it makes it a lot worse. So I was then crashing again and needing another month off, and I'm always someone where I learn either the lesson the hard way, I'm just really stubborn. So it just gets to a point where it's like really in my face. And the past month, obviously I had the flu as well, but just taking that time out, I really needed it. But also just to align with my own rhythm and what I need. And that's been very healing and very beautiful. And I'm not saying, oh, I'm there. This is something that's going to unfold for me and I'm learning. But I know that I need to move a lot slower, which is why I didn't rush to just come back. Because truthfully, it got to a point where and this is why I haven't posted so many videos, it got to a point where I was just kind of detaching from my own rhythm and my own creativity, where I didn't feel like I wanted to post anything. And I won't ever do anything for the sake of it. Like, I will do something because I'm aligned with it, my heart aligns with it, and I know it can help someone, and I feel really drawn to do it. But if I feel detached from something, or I'm just not aligning with it, I'm not just going to do it for the sake of it. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people. My heart's got to be aligned with it. So I didn't just want to put anything out there, because I love what I do so much. I need to be present for it. So I just thought, I'm not going to post till I feel like aligned with it and like I want to do it. And just coming back into my own energy. I actually filmed a video before this one a couple of days ago, but it just came to me naturally and I felt really excited for it, and I was like, that's what I was missing. And I've just been kind of realigning with my own energy and my own wave and coming back to myself in a really, really beautiful way, and it's creating less stress on my body. So that's where I've been, and it's just kind of like a journey for me. But that's why I haven't been as, putting as many restocks up, and I haven't been posting as much, because again, I've just been burnt out and I haven't wanted to do anything. My body's just like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to think. I don't want to talk. I just need to rest. And also just burning myself out. I've had a lot of things I've wanted to do, like behind the scenes and like content wise and stuff like that, and I just haven't got the ball rolling because I've been overworking myself and just reaching a level of burnout where I'm like, I can't even look at my emails. I can't, like that's where I've been. So yeah, I'm back, but I'm gonna be moving slowly. So I'm just catching that wave again, and when I get excited to film, I'm gonna be filming and putting it out there, and I just need to find that wave again. And also just aligning with what feels right for my body and my cycles, because I've been learning and you know, really listening to my body and what it needs, and it needs slowness and stillness, and that's why it's been a second. But yeah, that's why if you haven't heard from me email wise, I will be getting back to you all, but I am just moving slowly with that. And same with the videos, like I'm not gone. I've had some emails of you guys like word and stuff. I'm not gone or anything. I just need to take my time. I need the rest and just to take my time, but I'm back, and we're going to be taking a look in today's video at just guidance from your spirit guides. I thought we'd do that because we've, you know, we're in eclipse season and it's been heavy, so yeah, that's what we're doing today. But thank you guys for being patient and also showing love on my other videos. Like, you guys have really been holding me down and supporting all the other videos that I've done, and I really appreciate that, so thank you guys. And I don't know when the next restock will be. I want to kind of feel aligned with that, so I'll let you guys know. But yeah, let's get into the video because I'm excited to do today's video. So we have 3 piles for you guys to choose from. Pile number 1 is the red jasper quartz. Pile number 2 is the, we're going to call it the white shell. Sometimes we call it the swirly shell. And pile number 3, we have the cockle shell. So see which crystal you're drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I'll see you guys at your timestamps. Hey pile 1, welcome to your reading. So you guys chose the red jasper quartz. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So I'm going to get straight in. So pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Guidance from pile number 1's spirit guides, please. Guidance from pile number 1's spirit guides, please. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 1's guidance from pile number 1's spirit guides. Okay, we have the Fool. Guidance from pile number 1's spirit guides. We have the 5 of Cups. Guidance from pile number 1's spirit guides. King of Swords. And we have the 3 of Wands that flipped over my shoulder. And the back of the deck is the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so tapping in straight away, I kept being shown, oh, we've got one of Luna's hairs there. I was stroking Luna before this, that's why that's there. Yeah, when I was tapping into your collective and I was calling you guys in, first of all, I kept being shown like a dice being played, but then I was being shown like, I guess you could call it almost like circus themes, and just like, when I say trickster energy, I don't mean like in the negative sense, like trickster spirits. I just mean it in a way of like we're playing and we're bending rules. And it's making me think of, I always talk about Doctor Who, and there was this one episode of Doctor Who where there was this kind of god who he was called, I can't even remember what he was called, oh, I've completely forgotten him, but he was very like he was a toy maker, that's it, he was called the toy maker, and he was like a really playful kind of like trickster spirit, and he would be able to like bend rules, and kind of, obviously because he was a god, he could like make anything become whatever he wanted. Like when people were trying to shoot at him, he was turning them into the bullets into balloons and stuff like that, and he was bending things to his will. And that's what it made me think of when I was connecting to you guys' spirit guides, because I kept being shown you like in a playground, and it's almost like I have like a specific set of rules, like I have these rules, and like I'm not gonna like stray from them, but like these rules that spirit was showing me, like they're not set in stone. And I almost want to keep reminding you that like you're steering your ship. So there's something about like working smarter and not harder that I was being shown. But in terms of like, I don't know why I keep feeling like I'm putting limits on myself because of my own rules. Like when I wake up, I have to do this, or when I you know, converse with people, or when I go towards relationships and friendships, I have to go towards it in that way. And it's almost like I'm questioning myself, like, okay, but who told me that? Like, who said that I have to show up this way? And I'm kind of like looking, I feel like I'm walking into a world, and everything's very like upside down and like, you know, like topsy-turvy, and people have masks and this and that. And it's like, to learn, I'm kind of like becoming this world, and I'm moving in a way where I'm like using my brain. Like I don't know, like there's these rules that I kind of like feel like I want to take off me. I hope this is making sense. Like the way I could explain it, like you guys maybe quite like Capricorn, Aquarius, like Saturn ruled. I always say Saturnian, but people on TikTok said Saturnian, but I always say Saturnian, so I'm gonna keep saying that. But yeah, you guys may have like a lot of like Saturn in your chart. Like you guys may be very like, I have to adult, or I have to, you know, you could have been like parentified children, or like I have to reach this level of success, or I have to reach this, or I have to reach that, and this is my rules. And I keep like being shown question marks in the sense of like asking yourself, okay, but why? Like, what if you let yourself like be a little bit fluid? What if you tried something different? What if you know, tried in a different way? And I'm being shown people with like, I don't know how to play cards or anything like that, like, you know, literal playing cards, but I'm being shown people like playing like cards in like a gambling sense. They're showing me the scene from The Hangover where they go down into the gaming room, and it's almost like trying things in your own way and bending things to your own will, because I feel like you guys are very connected to source. Okay, you guys are very connected to source, you're very connected to spirit. So it's like, use your tools like manifestation and spell work, and you know, like road openers and protection spells, and like that's where I feel like I'm being taken now that I'm thinking about it. Like the toy maker bending things to his own will, it's almost like you're connected to a different realm. Like use that in this realm. That's your gift in this realm. Like other people may move with masks, other people may move with, you know, they may play certain games and you know, cheat some ways, but like everyone has like a cheat code. Like all games have a cheat code. Like for example, when you play Animal Crossing, you find cheat codes to get like certain coins and things like, well, bells and things like that. So it's like you have a cheat code, like your cheat code, and I'm being shown it. I feel connected to source, I feel connected to spirit, I feel like you have a lot of wisdom, and it's like use that. Like there's something there where I feel like I want to tell you to use that with the King of Swords going into the Three of Wands to kind of like open up roads for you. There's something here about opening up roads. I wonder if you guys are really good at manifestation or just aligning with things. And also I just feel like you guys are able to see life in a very beautiful way, or a very expansive way, and it's like use that. There's something there where I feel like use that, but I almost feel like there's rules that maybe you set on yourself, like I must play this game like truthfully, and it's like you're still playing the game truthfully, but that's your trick up your sleeve. Like that's there for you. You have that ability, you have that gift to be able to move in that way. Don't just like not use it, because you know it's like that's why it's there. You have that wand up your sleeve for a reason. Like use it. There's something there where I feel like I have something that's like readily available to me that I'm not using, or like I'm trying to play fair, but like I'm looking around and no one's playing fair, and any gift that they have they're using, or any tool that they have they're using, and some of them are even cheating, and it's not even about the gifts. They're just, you know, not playing the cards in the way that they should be, and it's like no one's playing by rules or fairness, and then you're there like, no, I must move in like this very black and white way. And spirit's like, use that color, use that wand. And I'm not saying be a trickster, I'm not saying like do spell work in a bad way, I'm not saying, because I don't want it to be taken like that, I'm not saying like cheat in you know certain ways. It's more like use that, you know, those manifestation techniques, use that, the spell work that you've been, you know, learning and working on, use that abundance for life and that frequency to hook on to. Like use that, use your connection to spirit to ask spirit to guide you in a certain way, or protect you in a certain way, or activate something for you. Like there's something here where it's like use your tools, you have knowledge, you have wisdom, that I feel it feels like from you though, this King of Swords, it's something that's already activated within you, and it's like use that to get yourself out of the situation, use that to bounce back. I wonder if something hasn't been going your way recently. Maybe, you know, your work has been annoying you, or there's like a success that you're trying to reach, or something you're trying to manifest, something you're trying to like a test you're trying to pass, or qualification you're trying to get, or just something isn't working, and it's, I keep being told like you have the wand to do it. And there's something about like connecting with spirit or connecting with yourself to align with something. And with the Fool card, I feel like I'm jumping onto something. I'm jumping onto what am I jumping onto? I keep being shown Voldemort, not Voldemort, what's his name? Dumbledore, where he has to drink this horrible drink to get this locket at the end, because it's like one of the Horcruxes, and like he's literally, it's like poisoning him, it's killing him, so he's kind of like dying with it. And all these like water beings, I don't know if they were mermaids or not, they come out of the water to kind of grab Dumbledore, and then all of a sudden he like rises kind of like from the ashes with his wand, and he does a spell, and he gets, you know, Harry to like safety, and he gets them out of the situation. And that's what I'm being shown with you. Like, I have that wand and I'm activating it. That's what it feels like. And I feel like it's your connection to source, or like spell work. I keep wanting to reference, like, I feel like a lot of you guys will know what I'm talking about, but there's a tool or a skill that you have that could help you in a situation. But I almost see you like, oh no, like I don't want to do that. Like, I'm trying to play it safe, or like like, for example, you could be somebody that's like, I'm dating to marry, so I'm like super serious, and it's like the end goal, dating to marry, is there, but like, let yourself have fun and flow. And I don't mean like, oh, date around and do whatever unless you want to. I just mean it in the sense of like, there's almost like rules that might not even be your rules, but maybe they were put on you, or maybe you, that's what it feels like. I almost feel like they were put on you. I wonder if sometimes like there's been periods in your life where maybe you've been a bit of a scapegoat, or people have like, you've maybe felt sometimes like other people can get away with things that you can't. I wonder if that's mirrored from like a time period in childhood, or a time period like in school. But because I keep seeing you like have a birthright to something, and I keep seeing you guys have like access to something, and people kind of telling you, well, you can't use that, or you can't do that, and almost like folding pieces of you in. Think of like an origami, like like the 4 of Pentacles at the back of the deck. I'm folding myself in. Maybe people told me not to shine so much, people told me not to be so confident, people told me not to, you know, be as cheerful as I am. Maybe people told me not to flex when I'm winning. Maybe people told me not to be so openly spiritual. Maybe people told me not to like, I'm seeing some of you guys like getting out into the world and like dressing like your best self, and then people being like, why are you dressed up for? Like, I'm seeing little things like that where you're like, oh, I'll just stop then, you know. Or you like being so passionate about something, and then somebody being like, why are you talking so much, or why are you getting so excited for? And it's like, but that's your thing, like, you're allowed to be passionate. And it's like these gifts, and it's almost like I'm folding them in. I folded them in, and I'm not using them, and it's like Spirit saying to use them, like they're your gifts, like that depth, your emotional depth, or your connection to source, or your ability to see things. And maybe you used to call things out, and people were like, why are you calling that out for? And then you just stop doing it. But like, that's your gift to be able to like, why are you doing that for? Because you can read people and you can see it. That's your gift. So there's something here where Spirit wants you to sit and look at like where you may be structuring areas of your life in terms of like, I have to step forward in this way, but everyone else is bending the rules. And like, you could bend the rules in a way where you're still being authentic and truthful to yourself, but with that tool up your sleeve, that is your gift. And it's almost like, I'm not using it, and Spirit's calling you to use that. I wonder what that is. And it could be like, let's just say you're trying to bring like financial abundance into your reality, but then you're looking at it like, well, I have to just think physically and like logically and like work hard and put my head down. And yes, we work hard, that's the point of the material world, but you can also mix it in with connection to Spirit. You can also mix it in with meditating and seeing what the best timeline is for you. You can also mix that with spell work and opening a pathway for yourself, and, you know, using herbs and affirmations and things for abundance. Like, you can also use that. And I almost feel like I've got this box of tools that I'm just not using when everybody else is doing that, or maybe worse. And it's like, I'm not using my tools. It's like, use your tools. That's what I'm hearing. I'm being shown the sword and the stone. It's King Arthur, isn't it? I'm being shown that, like, get your sword out, it's yours, you know. It's making me think of Harry Potter as well, when the sword of Gryffindor represents it, or presents itself to whoever's like worthy of it. And I'm being shown like your gifts being that, and then you're in distress and the sword just appears. But yeah, that's what I'm feeling in regards to your gifts. You're being called to like look at where maybe you structure yourself. And when I say structure yourself, I don't mean it in the sense of like routines and stuff. If that aligns, then cool. But it's more about like there's an area of your life maybe where you might be struggling or just frustrated with like the outcome, or you may just feel like, especially if you've been feeling like, how does this person get ahead and this person doesn't, but I don't. But there's like rules and regulations that I feel like for a lot of you guys, they're not even yours. They're what people have projected onto you, and you've gone, oh well, I've just got to move this way, and I've always just got to show up in this way, and I've always got to do this. And it's like, who told you this? So there's a reference to really sit on like rules and how you show up, and like question like, who taught me that? Who taught me that? And really take a look at what aligns with you on then the soul level, you know what I mean? And then what other people might have just spoken to you, you know? let me just take a look at what it could be as well. I know it's a general reading, but I want to just try and hone in on what that could be. Pile 1, please, spirit guides. I'm being told you'll know what I'm on about, but I want to, can you hone in on what that could be, please, spirit guides? Can you hone in on what that could be? 10 of Swords. I just showed self-abandonment. I wonder if like in friendships and relationships, you're someone that's like, with the Hierophant and the 10 of Pentacles as well. I wonder if in friendships and relationships sometimes, and maybe even like co-worker situations, like career, your career, like career path, not career the country, but I just feel like you may sometimes struggle with self-abandonment, where it's like, let's say you're moving towards a friendship and you know what you want out of a friendship and you know what you want out of a relationship or out of a career path, and then it's like very quickly I'm jumping off that and I'm aligning with what you want. Why is that? I'm hearing self-abandonment. It's coming up. 2 of Swords is at the back of the deck. Let me sit with this a sec. 10 of Swords, the Hierophant, and the 10 of Pentacles. Where's the self-abandonment coming from? I feel like I'm playing by somebody else's rules to make it easier for them. I've learned to accommodate maybe other people's paths and make it easier for them. But like what, like the Spirit's saying, well, what about you then? Because who's doing that for you? You need to be doing that for you. You need to roll out the carpet for yourself. You need to what's easier for you? What's better for you? Do you like keeping your mouth shut when people are saying this and that? You know, do you like going along with things that you don't really want to go along with? You don't. So don't. Like there's a reference there, don't, and listen to what you want. I keep wanting to tell you, like, you're allowed to do what you want to do. You're allowed to stay in your own frequency. You're allowed to stay in that. Like, you're allowed to do what you want to do. There's a self-abandonment of like, I'm taking my jacket off to give to you, even though you already have a jacket on, and now I'm cold. And it's like, well, I wanted to keep my jacket on. And I'm not saying like, because some people might take that as, and I'm saying, oh, be selfish. I don't mean it like that. Like, but a little bit of selfishness is okay, especially when you need to make sure that your energy is right and you're in your own frequency and you're anchored into your own energy first. You know what I mean? There's something there. Because I feel like I'm not using my tools to maybe sometimes to fit in. I'm not using my discernment. Like I have the discernment, but then I'm maybe not following it just to keep the peace. So it's like, whose peace are you keeping? That's your tool. That just your discernment. That's your tool. Call it out if you need to. You're allowed to do that. Connect with spirit and use that. If people find it, you know, uncomfortable or whatever, then that's their issue. That's not yours. Like, that's who you are. There's something here that I just feel like I'm putting my tools down to make other people feel better. I'm not feeling confident in myself today because I want to make sure that this person feels okay within themselves, because when I was feeling confident, they were telling me, why was I dressed like this, and why was I saying this, and why. So it's like I'm almost like maybe sometimes playing small or being too humble. That's it. Maybe I'm sometimes being too humble and then I'm not using my tools. I'm hearing when Hagrid goes, you're a wizard, Harry. I wonder if this is like spell work and connecting to source, or just something connected to like spirituality and using that to move in the physical, because it's not cheating. You have those, we all have those gifts. Some people just don't want to tap into them. We all have them. You're allowed to activate them and use them. That's your gift. That's what I'm hearing. The Hierophant and the Ten of Pentacles. But there is a message here about self-abandoning sometimes. I wonder if sometimes you guys, you know, let's just say like you're emotionally overwhelmed, like you've maybe done some inner work, or you've maybe helped somebody out and now you're a bit overwhelmed, and then somebody's like, get up and do this for me, or listen to this problem, answer my text, and you're like, there's a reference of like, say no, like have the boundary. You're allowed to have that. And maybe you have this rule where it's like, I've got to be there for everyone, but it's like, who put that rule there? You can be there for people, but there needs to be a level of boundary. There needs to be, you need to anchor into your own frequency. You can't take all of that on, sort of thing. That's what I'm hearing here. Yeah, because I feel like sometimes it's almost like this tool, I'm putting it down for the sake of somebody else. That's where it's like I'm putting it down for the sake of somebody else. Or I've created these rules within myself, or people have projected and said that I've got to do this, this and that. Or growing up, I was told that I have to self-sacrifice, or I was told that I have to be the best and reach every goal, and I'm not worthy unless I have this, or I have to show up in this particular way, or I can't be too emotional, or I can't have too many needs, or I can't be too like fanciful and playful and creative and allow my energy to jump out like that. I was told that I can't, so it's like I'm putting it in the box, and Spirit's saying, get those tools out of the box. You're allowed to be that. You're allowed to be funny. You're allowed to be courageous. You're allowed to be talkative. You're allowed to be emotional. You're allowed to be connected to Spirit and whimsical. You know, you're allowed to be all of these things. Where's the rules? And whenever you feel like, oh, I shouldn't do this, ask yourself, okay, who made that rule? Because you'll find it might not have come from you. And there's something about playing against, like, going against the rules here. But I just feel like there's something connected to Spirit here, because if you ever want to watch the episode, it's a good episode in my opinion. It's Doctor Who. It's The Giggle. The episode's called The Giggle. And the guy isn't good though. The toy maker isn't like a good guy really. But he's able to manipulate reality, and there's a reference to that, and it's making me think of spell work, because Harry Potter keeps coming up too. So I wonder if it's spell work. Pile number 1, please. Guidance from pile number 1, Spirit guides. There's almost a reference to meditate and connect back in with yourself, and like, what do I want out of life, and like create your own rules and boundaries and limits, because I almost feel like sometimes you might limit yourself, but it's not your words, it's other people that throughout time maybe projected onto you. It's like, don't limit yourself. Don't water yourself down. Don't dilute yourself. You know? Pile 1, please, Spirit guides. I wonder what that's about. Pile 1, please, Spirit guides. We have Rose Without Thorns. You have a right to your joy, peace, sweetness of life. I just keep thinking of like a rose unfolding. We have the sun. Again, joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, and play. And that's the thing. When I was talking about the Doctor Who episode, the toy maker, he's like, the Doctor says something like he's bound to like the rules of play. So he like loves playing games. Like he plays catch with the ball, and he plays card games and all of that. So there's something here about playing and toying with things and bending the rules and being a bit rebellious, and you know, because I'm not talking about like rules in the sense of like go break the law and go do bad things. That's not what I mean. It's like the rules you would have set on yourself. Like, I have to achieve this, you know? Like, to give like a little example, I remember like I was always told when I was a kid, you always have to save the best thing on your plate to last to eat. And my favorite thing that I would want to eat on that plate, I would leave it to last. And at that point I was so full that I didn't even want to eat it anymore. And then just like one day in my like mid-20s, I was like, who told me I have to leave that till last? I'm gonna eat it first. Like, no one, I'm not breaking the law and doing this. Like, if I want to eat that first, I'll eat that first. And it just cracked in my brain, and I was like, oh, and now I eat my favorite thing first, because who's gonna tell me I can't? So like, it's just like little things like that, but I feel like it would then flow into your life in other ways. That's just my version of it, just because it came up in my brain. But yeah, that's what I'm being shown. Like, who told you that? Who said that you had to show up in this way? Or who said that you had to dim your light like that? Who said that you couldn't use that tool? Like, who said you can blend physical and spiritual together? Who said that? And there's a reference to play here, and play around with that. The back of the deck is do it your way, the wild rose. Do it your way, embrace your uniqueness untamed. Yeah, it's like throwing the rules to the side, throwing the rule book to the side, you know, and letting yourself bloom in that way. That's the message from your guide. So I really hope you got what you needed from the reading today. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pals, who welcome to your reading. So if you guys chose the swirly shell, this is your reading. I'm gonna start with tarot, and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 2, please, spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 2s, please. Tap me into the collective. I keep being shown Wales, like not Wales the country in which I'm currently in. I mean Wales, like Wales under the sea. You know, you all know what I mean, Wales. Yeah, like, and really vividly as well. I don't know about anyone else, but I've been having like really strong, I guess maybe since I've been grounding into my body more, my clairvoyance is so much more strong. And it feels like a screen in front of me almost, and I can just see things, and I just keep being shown like I'm deep under the water and it's all blue, and there's just this one big whale in front of me. We'll see what that's about now, but I see it very strongly. But I know, because you're all part of my collective, if I'm going through something, a lot of the times you guys may be, or if I'm having an activation, you guys might be, because we're all kind of cut from the same cloth, vibrating, you know, so you could all be going through that too. But yeah, I keep seeing whales. Pile number 2, guidance from pile number 2, spirit guides, please. We have the Star. Pile number 2, please, spirit guides. Pile number 2, we have the Empress. Pile number 2, we have the Hanged Man. So a lot of major arcana. And we also have the 3 of Wands. And the back of the deck is the Fool. That is a lot of major arcana. Okay. The Star, Empress, the Hanged Man, the 3 of Wands, and the Fool. Okay. Okay, so first of all, I keep being shown like oh, you guys are like very deeply spiritual, especially with the whale coming through as well, because the whales are ancient and they hold so much wisdom, and I feel like that's just maybe representative of you guys as collective in general. I just feel like you guys are very connected to source and very connected to spirit, and I would even say, because I keep thinking of like philosophy, so I feel like you guys are like philosophers at heart. It just is in your nature to tap into things very deeply. You just feel like very wise old souls. You may even be from that pile when I do readings of like how people view you, and I always get like one pile, it's like my Dumbledore Gandalf pile, and if I've never said that to you before, just that you give off the frequency of like elder wizard. Like that's the only way I can describe it. Like that's just your energy. And where are we? I straight away I'm being called to stillness for a second, because I just keep being I keep like feeling like I'm tapping into this whale, and I'm like, I understand things very, very deeply. I feel like everything that I'm looking at, I'm seeing in a very deep way. But I keep being shown like consciousness expanding. So I wonder if some of you guys are going through a spiritual awakening right now, or you guys have just been getting downloads or understanding things from a deeper perspective. Because I would normally use it from the perspective of like a plant that, you know, the flower's outgrown its pot and we're replanting it into a bigger pot. But the way Spirit's showing it to me, like I keep being shown like a whale, and then it's just getting larger and larger and larger and larger, but it's like the consciousness is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Bear with, because it's like I'm getting it and then I'm being called to just sit with it. This is the thing. This is what it is. This is why I'm like, wait a minute, because I'm trying to understand. I'm being called to just sit with what I'm feeling right now, not to question it, not to analyze it. What's going on? Picking it apart. This is the thing. You guys are full of wisdom. You guys see things very deeply. So a lot of you guys may be people that are very analytical. You guys may be souls that really dissect things, but you guys are getting to a point in your journey, because we're always going, there's always another layer. Whenever we think we know something, we realize we haven't scratched the surface, and that's the point. You know, we reached the ceiling, we realize there's another floor. And this phase you're going into, because honestly your consciousness feels like it's expanding. The phase you're going into, like, I'm not even like trying to analyze and understand. I'm just sitting with it. I'm just sitting with it. I just want to feel. This is more of a feeling. It's the emotional body. That's why we've got the whale in the water. That's why I was being shown that. Okay, that makes sense. There's something about listening to your emotions right now. And I'm not trying to analyze them either. And some of you guys may find, you could have already been doing this, but this could also come over the next couple of months or weeks. You could have also been doing it where you're waking up and like one day, like you're having a moment where you just feel a bit of sorrow, or you just feel a bit of sadness, a bit of grievance, a bit of anger, but then maybe a bit of sweet and happiness and love. And these things are coming up. Your body's processing like emotions in terms of you're just feeling it. Your body's starting to understand it. You don't need to your brain doesn't need to understand it. It's like the analytics are shut off. I just need to sit with these feelings right now, and that's what it's about. And that's why I was like waiting for more information, but then it was stopping, because we're just sitting in it for a second. Because I think that right now you're going through somewhat of an awakening, and I think there's activations happening within you. And I think anything that's holding you to old paradigms and old timelines, it doesn't need to be analyzed anymore, because there's this feeling of like, you already know. You know why that happened to you. You know the spiritual reason of why that happened. You know the psychological reason, and you know you've analyzed it. But now it's just like letting the versions of you that experienced it just feel it. You know, you understand that maybe, let's just say like you had a parent and the parent wasn't able to tend to your needs, but it wasn't because you were rejected. It was because they never tapped into their own needs. They couldn't tap into yours. And you understand it from the spiritual perspective and the psychological perspective, but there's also a version of you that just needs to feel that grievance. No meaning behind it and analyzing it, because when we do that, we're coming out of the body. And if you were to do that still, you'd be escaping just the feeling. And you needed to understand it from that higher perspective. You needed to analyze it. That was the point. But now you're at the layer of it, which is really the core layer of it, which is just the feeling. So it doesn't matter about the analytical and the spiritual side of it for a second. It's just let me feel it. Let me feel angry at that person, and let me feel sadness at that person. And I see you doing it as well, because this feels like very intentful. Like I feel like I'm just sitting with a feeling and it's just passing. And I wonder if this has been happening, or if it's gonna, happen. Let me know if it's already been happening for you in the comment section. But I just see movements. It's making me think of like, if you've ever been in the ocean and there's like, the way I would describe it, like if you've had a pool in your backyard, and maybe like a little bit of it's in the shade, but a little bit of it's in the sun, and when you move into that part where the sun is, it's warm. That's when I'm being shown your body. It's like I'm being shown the whale, and the whale's like moving through the ocean, and it's like it's hitting hot spots, and those hot spots are just bits of debris of emotion that just need to come through. And some of you guys, I'm seeing even like happy tears, just like a release. It's just you're releasing, you're just letting it go. And that's really what it is. There's a stillness here, and there's a release here, and you're just feeling emotions that are just coming up for you. And with the Fool card being at the back of the deck, it's showing me that not only are you just like aligning with new timelines, you're in a new timeline. So it's just, you're having activations because you're in that new timeline, and what's happening now is just those bits of debris that just popping up. Because like I always say, when we are feeling something and something's coming up for us, it's coming up because it doesn't fit in our energy anymore, and it's showing itself to us so it can be gone. And the final act of healing, because healing isn't linear, is just really sitting with it and accepting maybe what we couldn't accept in that moment, so we try to understand it. And you've understood, you're super conscious, and you see things from the higher perspective, and you analyze it. Or maybe you guys are into psychology, you've been to therapy, and you verbally get it, or you mentally get it, you get it all, but you just need to feel it now. And maybe some of you guys have been doing like somatic therapy and hip opening exercises and that, and maybe that's how it's coming through, but it's really just flowing through you, and you're just moving through it. And sometimes it may be like some harder emotions, but the thing is that the reason that they're happening now and they're able to be released is not only have you analyzed it and understood it and spiritually got it, but you've made room within yourself to hold those feelings that at one point you weren't able to. And you weren't able to feel them not because it was a case of you were incapable, but a lot of the times when we go through things, we can't accept things. Our brain can't accept it. It hurts too much. And sometimes things happen when we're really young, and the brain's trying to protect us, and the shadow side's trying to protect us, whichever one you want to align with. And we can't process the heaviness. It's too much. And we put it to the side, and that's where these triggers come from. And you've already been working on untangling them. This is the thing, you've already been on that journey. That's already been happening, and now you're just kind of sitting with those feelings, and maybe also just accepting things, you know. Because I'm hearing the song by Addison Rae, the song she released the other week, and well, last week, and it's called Headphones On, and she sings like oh, what was the lyric? She says, you can't fix what has already been broken, you just gotta surrender to the moment. So there's something here about acceptance of something, but maybe in the past you weren't able to accept something, but now that you've analyzed it, you've understood it, and you're passing through the emotion, you're finally accepting something and moving forward. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that person never gave me an apology, or maybe that person never came back, you know. Maybe I was in a no contact situation and that person never showed back, or maybe that person didn't grow with me. And we're allowed as human beings, like, we tried to understand it and heal it, and we're meant to, you know, dissect it, but we also need to feel it. And sometimes as human beings, like, sometimes it needs to just be as simple as like, I just need to feel into that sadness, maybe that feeling of abandonment, that feeling of grief. Even if I know that maybe they didn't abandon me, they were abandoning themselves, maybe I know that, but maybe I just need to feel, you know, that bit of sadness, or that feeling, because once I feel it, I can just let it out, you know. And I won't try and find a way to redo it, or constantly go around in circles trying to understand it. I can just feel it and let it out, and that's where I feel you're at. But honestly, I do feel like spiritual growth for you guys. It's really that, and it's gonna be different for all of you because this is a general reading, but I do think there's an expansion in consciousness, and I do think that there's going to be with the Hanged Man going into the Three of Wands, I just feel like there's going to be activations where I see, like, I'm hearing the word joy, like, and happiness, and like fun and creativity, and like, I keep saying like, I'm sorry, but it's just, there's going to be activations of like what's for you on this next path. And whatever it is that you are, the more you are feeling these things, there's activations in their place of new doorways to be opened, you know. And this doesn't feel like all the time. Like, I don't see you sitting in a shadow period, and I think you'll know this. It doesn't feel like that because the worst of it you've done. I feel like you've done all the heavy lifting of, you know, maybe you've gone through like a shadow period, maybe you've gone through an ego death, maybe you've gone through a period of being in therapy and healing. I feel like this next phase you're going into is a bit more play, and a bit more like, with the Fool card here, I'm thinking of like Aries energy, like we're on a new adventure, and there's more fun to come. That's what I want to say. You feel like, I'm hearing Diana Ross, I'm coming out. So you feel like you're getting into that, but right now you're kind of in between worlds, but it's in the sense of like, I'm just dropping off the emotional weight. It's the emotional weight. It's honestly, this is emotional energy that you're processing. This is emotional. That's in the subconscious. It's just these little things come up, and it doesn't feel like it's every day. I mean, maybe there could be like a time period where it's like a couple of days in a row, but it doesn't feel like every day. Like, I just feel like every now and then something's coming up for you to just feel, and then it's coming up. But it feels the way I'm feeling, and it's going to be different for all of you, but the way I'm feeling when I tap into it here is like when you have a knot in your shoulders and somebody massages it and it kind of hurts, but it also is like a relief. That's what I'm getting here, because you're entering a phase where you're feeling lighter, and some of you guys already feel pretty light to me. And it's just going to keep happening, but there's a lot of growth here and a lot of expansion. Yeah, so let's pull your oracle cards, but just sit with things right now. Don't just sit with your feelings right now, and just sit with like, what are you feeling and how does that make you feel? Like joy and happiness, because I see so many things of joy, happiness, bittersweet. You're in the past, your level of, because like I said, you're full of wisdom, but I feel like you've analyzed it, and now it's speaking to you maybe in a different way. Now it's speaking to you through emotions. Now it's speaking to you through feelings. You may find that you unlock maybe like clairesentience or something like that, or that gets stronger for you. Because I just see like wisdom coming through in a different way now. Yeah, pile number 2, tap me into my collective of pile 2s. We have the sun. I'm hearing here comes the sun by the Beatles. Joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, and play. Yeah, I see you going into a phase where you're flowing a bit more. You feel lighter, like you feel like you've cut off the baggage from the past. Like, whenever I think of that, I think of the scene from The Christmas Carol with Scrooge, where he looks out his window, the one with Jim Carrey, and like all of the ghosts are walking around with their heavy weights. Like, they have the chains with like the boxes of like their bad decisions and their weights and everything they didn't let go of, and they're like moaning and grunting going through the town. And it's like you're letting go of that so you can kind of flow. Because I'm thinking of like Jim Carrey when he plays Scrooge, and Scrooge, like the little candlestick ghost that looks like a little flame, and he makes him fly through to his past, and he's like flying around. That's what I'm being shown for you guys. You feel like a father. Pile 2, please, spirit guides. We also have the codes of the seeds. Yeah, I knew this was an activation. I could feel it. It's an unraveling. It's an openness. It's growth here. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. Yeah, and the back of the deck you have the mystic rose, compassion, devotion, humility, humanity, and grace. You have that at the back of the deck. And the thing is, the sun as well, like the sun gives us light codes, it activates us. And then you have codes of the seeds. You are going through a bit of a tunnel moment, not tower moment, tunnel moment. You've been through the tower moment, you're going through a tunnel moment. And you're like when you go into like, if you've ever gone into like a festival or something and they check you, and if you have like alcohol or anything that they don't want you to have, they take it off you before you go in. It's kind of like that, but it's like the paradigm you're in. It's like, oh, that's gonna weigh me down, let me get rid of that. Like, I'm seeing you in like security, but it's like your higher self, but it's like, oh, let's let that pass through. Oh, let's feel that for a sec before we go in. Like, it kind of feels like that. But in like a really beautiful way, because I just keep being shown flowers. So there's sprout in here. You're activating, you're blooming. That's what you're doing. But sit with all these feelings, because there's also joy that feels like it's being activated too. Sit with like little things that maybe inspire you or connect you to your inner child or connect you to, you know, whatever. Just sit with them, because they're going to activate like things that you want and passions that maybe were lost, or maybe new passions that are coming in. You know, just sit with the joy and the fun. Don't like, say now you're feeling something, you're like, well, that's not me. Just let it flow, because there may be something there for you. Like, maybe you're somebody that has like always been like a really bright, fun aesthetic, and like maybe you've always associated like a darker aesthetic, or like a certain type of, you know, music is like, oh, that's dark. But like, if you're feeling called towards it and that you're feeling it, the emphasis on feeling, really listen to that, because there could be something there for you and there's like growth there. Or you could be the other way, like you could be somebody that's always like looking into the darker, deeper side, and it's like silly fun things may bring you joy. Like I remember when I was in my teen years, like I would not listen to pop songs, like, and I was saying to my sister, because she's like, you're such a girly, like pink like girl, and you listen to like, you know, more like pop, like fun things and girly songs, and she was like, well, you like always like that? And I was like, no, like when I was a teenager it was Eminem, you know, and it was Tupac, and it was just rap. I wouldn't listen to anything other than rap, but I needed it at the time, of course, because I was dealing with a lot and it made sense to me. Whereas now I'm just like, I just want joy and fun, and, you know, over the last couple of years that kind of sprouted. And let yourself sprout, let yourself feel things and follow them and be colorful, and yeah, follow your feelings is a message from your guides. So pile 2, that is what I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed your reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. Sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what guidance your spirit guides have for you right now. So you guys chose the cockle shell. I'm going to start with tarot and then we'll move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 3, please spirit guides, tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. Tap me into the collective of my pile number 3s. What guidance do my pile number 3s need to hear right now? What guidance do my pile number 3s need to hear right now? Okay, we have the 5 of Pentacles. Pile number 3s, we have death. Pile number 3s, we have the Page of Wands. And we have the 10 of Cups. Okay. On the back of the deck, we have the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, 5 of Pentacles, death, the Page of Wands, the 10. Okay, I keep being shown like scenarios where like I'm being shown somebody with a key trying to get through their front door, but it's like it's the wrong key, so it's just not going to work. And then I'm being shown like holes in the wall, and it's like shapes. So like there's a heart shaped hole, there's a star shaped hole, and then there's like shapes on the floor, and it's like I'm trying to put the star into the heart and it's not working, and I'm trying to put the heart into the circle and it's not working. And it's like when something doesn't align with you and it's falling apart, it's not for you. It wouldn't work for you. Like think of it like there's a reason we don't put ketchup on ice cream. You know what I mean? There's a reason we don't put potatoes and chocolate together. Like there's a reason we don't do that, but it's just not because the potato's bad or the chocolate's bad. It just doesn't fit. Like it's just not, it's not for that, or maybe it's not for that purpose. And every time we have like an uphill battle with something, or something isn't just aligning or working, there's a message here that like it's not for us. And this to me, the way it's coming through, you can align it with whatever you need to, but the way it's coming through is more like a connection, like a relationship or somebody you've been talking to, or it could be like a friendship. And it's almost just like there's something that just like isn't fitting, and it's not for you to change yourself for it to fit. It's you need to stay in your own frequency, and what's meant for you is also going to vibrate at that frequency. Because I almost feel like maybe there's someone in my life, or it feels like someone, this feels like a person. So this could be a relationship that you know has been on the rocks, or just someone you've been talking to and it's not quite been working, or a friend where things haven't been flowing, and it's like right now, because sometimes it's a case of it's not working right now, but sometimes it's like we're meant for different paths. And there's something here where it's just like it's not I see something not working, and then you turning inward and going, oh, maybe I was too much of this, and maybe I'm too boring, or maybe I'm too fun, and I'm too fast-paced, and maybe I'm too childlike, or it's not working because of me. That's how I feel, like, in this energy. It's not working because of me, and I need to change it. It's not working because of me, and, like, I'm the one in the wrong here. And, like, this is more in the sense of a dynamic of, like, things keep falling through, but, like, I'm blaming myself, and maybe I'm feeling unworthy, or I'm feeling insecure, or like I wasn't enough. And it's not that you weren't enough, it's like the key is going into the wrong door. You're meant for people that align with you and flow with you. And just because maybe, you know, it's a friend that's going out partying and you don't want to do that, it doesn't mean you're boring, or it doesn't mean I can't even speak. You're being too slow, or like too slow paced, or too I feel like my brain's going fast because I'm trying to understand with myself. Like, I'm picking myself apart almost, like I'm not enough, or like I wasn't too much of this, or I wasn't too much of that. And I'm almost jumping out of my energy for someone or something, but it feels like someone. And, you know, it could be that somebody is very slow paced, and then it's like, oh, maybe I'm too much. I'm too talkative. I'm too vulnerable. I was too emotional. And it's like, no. Like, stay in your energy and show up the way that you need to. The right people are going to align with that. The right frequency, it's going to align with that. It's like, for example, to put it into words that, you know, to make it make sense, it's like when we like align with like watching a tarot reader, you know, and it's like sometimes we'll find readers that work for us, and sometimes we'll find readers that don't. But just because a reader is making too short of a video, or too long of a video, or speaking too much, or not speaking enough, or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. That's their style, and they have their own people that are on that frequency, and it just might not be a thing. It doesn't mean that person's wrong, or that they're a bad reader, or whatever it is. It doesn't fit. And it's the same then when we look at it with friendships and relationships. Like, sometimes, because we're always growing, sometimes we grow apart, sometimes we come back together, sometimes we go through phases where we're not aligning, and then we come back to aligning again. And that happens, you know. And there's a reference here, because I'm hearing the song Two Oregitas from Encanto, where the two butterflies grow apart to reunite. Like, that's the name of the song. If you want to listen to that, it's from the Encanto soundtrack. But yeah, I'm hearing that because there's something here of like, if it's not fitting, don't force it. And if it's not fitting, don't change yourself for it to fit. Like, don't jump out of your energy to fit that person's, because you're growing in a way that's right for you. And if you jump into that person's frequency, or you try to be like that person, or you try and align with it like that, and it doesn't fit for you, you're missing out on people that are going to see you and vibrate with your frequency and be for you. And there's a reference to just let go with the Five of Pentacles and Death. And there's something here about not taking something as rejection. I just wonder if like there's been a situation where you felt not enough for someone, but it's not that, it's just the frequency isn't fitting. And there's a reference to not take it as rejection. And maybe, of course, if it's really triggering something, sit with it and ask what part of yourself feels rejected, and really sit with those feelings and just keep asking yourself, the deeper you go into that, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like I'm not enough? You know, what am I feeling? Because for some of you guys, it could be like a rejection wound or abandonment wound, and there's a reference of the shadow work and feeling there. But this reading doesn't feel focused on that too much. Spirit almost wants to remind you that like sometimes rejection is divine protection, and sometimes like things are pulled away from us and fall away from us because in hindsight they could end up not working out well for us. Like, for example, we could think that we want to be with a specific person, and then being with them we could end up being drained, and it's not actually what we wanted at all. And you know, you hear a lot of people a lot of the time and they say, I'm so glad I didn't end up with what I wanted, you know. And we all have those moments. I'm sure you guys have those moments where you've looked back and gone, I'm so glad I didn't end up with that person. I really wanted it at the time, but I'm so glad I didn't end up with that. And I've had those moments too. And there's a reference there to look back at those moments when things weren't fitting and being like, God, thank God that didn't work out. And there's a moment here that I want to reference of like something just not fitting. It's a frequency, and it's something that would have you coming out of your energy or out, because we've got the Two of Pentacles at the back of the deck. It's creating an imbalance within you. And Spirit seemed to let go of it, let it go, you know. And sometimes, because you could be watching this and it's for a friend that there's nothing wrong. It's just that maybe you're growing apart. And a lot of the times with those situations, sometimes people come back around. Like sometimes it's a case of that person comes back around when they've grown and evolved. And then other times it's a case of someone else comes in that may be better for us and we were meant to go that way. And whichever one it is, there's a reference here from Spirit to keep referencing that rejection is divine protection, and that if something starts to create a level of resistance, fall back into your energy so that you can just align with your true path, and just know that anything falling away is just not, it's not meant to be there. It's not meant to be staying. It's not meant to be sticking, because what's for you is going to be for you. And you don't need to abandon yourself or change or feel like you're in the wrong, or you're wrong for being a certain way if somebody else doesn't like it, because maybe that person needs something different, or maybe you do as well. And it doesn't mean that you're not worthy or they're not, you know. That's what I'm picking up. And I'm not saying it in the sense of like bypassing maybe when we do things wrong in a relationship, because sometimes people will take it from a different perspective, and I don't mean it like that, because that's not the message that's coming through. This is about those of you that feel like you have to tailor yourself to fit somebody else's mold. I'm not on about taking accountability in relationships and stuff. I'm on about you feeling like this isn't working because I'm not enough, so maybe I need to try harder, maybe I need to change, maybe I need to stop being so expressive, so emotional. It's like, no, you need to stay in your frequency and in your energy, and you need to listen to your needs. Don't abandon yourself or feel like, oh, I'm being too much, or I'm being too needy. Like, you deserve to have your needs met, and you deserve to have these things, and if it's not working, just let it flow. And I know that it's easy to say, but in the moment, I know it can be a little hard, it can be a little bit heavy, because, you know, as human beings, we attach to people and we want connection, and we want these, you know, we connect with people, and when we invest with people, it's hard to pull back. And sometimes we can also invest in what could be and what we wish something could be, and that's hard to let go of as well, you know. So that's also something that can create a lot of heaviness. But Spirit's saying, yes, pass through that, and if there's shadow work that comes up, yes, pass through it. But more so here is the guidance coming through of like, what's for you is not going to pass you. And when you feel this feeling of jumping out of your energy and maybe going into a more overgiving energy, or whatever it is, or dissecting and pulling yourself apart, the minute you feel yourself doing that, stop, breathe. There's something, I'm hearing like breathing exercises to kind of like self-soothe, and really just sit in your energy and be like, I know my boundaries, I know what I want, I know the pathway that I'm walking towards, I know what I'm aligning with. And it's like, I'm staying in this energy, and anything that doesn't fit it is going to fall away. You know, I don't need to chase or prove myself for something to stay. If it's not staying, it's not meant to, you know. So there's a reference there that is coming through. It's more so just a bit of guidance, because if it was anything too deeper, like Spirit would take me onto like a shadow part of this reading, and I almost kind of feel like you have that covered. Like if something's being triggered in you, you know that it's triggering this wound, or you know that it's, you know, that shadow wound, or what. It's like you know, it's just that feeling. And sometimes it's not even the wound necessarily, maybe we've worked through that. Sometimes it's the body and the nervous system feeling like, okay, this is where I have to self-abandon, this is where I need to jump out of my energy. And sometimes just soothing and sitting with the uncomfortability, and just sitting with that message and holding space for it, that can help. Because sometimes it's not like about the wound or the I need to understand why this is happening. Sometimes it's not about that. It's the body, the nervous system, you know, our energy feeling like, this is where I have to jump out, this is where I have to keep you in my life, this is, you know. And we're trying to avoid, it's the body and the nervous system trying to avoid the feeling in that moment, or the trigger in that moment, trying to fix it, come back and soothe me, stay and soothe me, don't go. And, you know, or the brain just being taught, oh well, if that's not working, it's because of something that I did. And, you know, I feel like you guys, tapping into you, I feel like you guys are very self-reflective, so you know your energy, you know, and otherwise I'd be taken into a shadow moment and going into wounds here, and I'm not. This is more about sitting with the body, sitting with the feeling where I feel like I need to jump out of my energy, the feeling where I feel like I need to prove myself, and it's like, where's that coming from? Let me just sit with it. Let me, you know, and that's what I'm doing here, because it's more like a reminder here, like, you don't, if you're a heart shape, you need other heart shapes. Don't try and force the star to fit, and the heart doesn't think that it's not enough because the star isn't aligning with it, because the heart's for the heart and the star's for the star, you know what I mean? It's like when we say about flowers, you know, the flowers all have their own unique beauty, and they don't feel unworthy because, you know, the tulip doesn't feel unworthy because it doesn't look like the daffodil, and the, you know, the gypsophilia doesn't, you know, feel insecure because it doesn't look like the carnation. Like, they all have their properties, and it's the same with human beings. We align with who's right for us, and we align with what makes sense for us, and if it's not working, let it flow. And we can understand it from so many other perspectives, with like food that doesn't agree with us, tarot readers online that, you know, don't align with us because they're talking too deep into things and I don't want that, or they're keeping it a bit too surface level and I don't want that. It's not that they're at fault or you're at fault, it just doesn't align. We know this. It's the same with foods. It's not the potato's fault that we can't eat it or we're allergic. It's not its fault, it just doesn't align with us. But then when it comes to connection, you know, it's hard for human beings sometimes to digest that that's maybe not my person, that's maybe not for me. And we can get caught up in the, why not? Is it me? What did I do? I'm being rejected. We get caught up in it. And sometimes our body then gets used to that surge of like, come back and soothe me. Come back and soothe me. Come back and choose me, you know, and align with me. And yeah, that's what's coming through here. And Spirit keep wanting to reference, like, what's for you is meant for you, you know. Don't jump out of your energy to please anyone or anything. Stay where you are in your frequency and where you're growing, because the right people are gonna align with you and get you. You won't have to over explain and chase, and, you know, it'll just align and flow. And it's not to say that connections aren't going to have their ups and downs. All relationships have ups and downs, friendships have ups and downs. We grow, there's arguments, we learn from each other, we trigger each other, it happens. But this is for something that just isn't working, and you'll know what I'm talking about, or who I'm talking about. If you want to apply it to like something else in your life, you can as well. It just feels here more like a person. It's just the energy I'm getting. It feels more like a person. And again, sometimes it doesn't have to be that like you're in the wrong, they're in the wrong. It's just you're growing apart and you need more, like a moment of just space. And, you know, you're aligning with two different lifestyles. That can also be the case. Pile 3, please. Spirit guides, pile number 3. We have the Holy Grail. Yeah, stop the endless searching. Inner quest. It's like I'm going deep within to try and find out what I did wrong or why I'm not fitting in, or like it could even be as well like peers around you, you know, like you may have like people around you that are in relationships, and then you're feeling like, oh well, I should be in a relationship, but right now you really feel like you want to be on your own and self-discovering or having fun and enjoying life on your own for a sec. Or it could be the other way, everybody's out doing that and, you know, self-discovering and journeying, and you're like, I'm in my lover era. And don't feel like you're wrong for having your own path. Like that's a message here. Don't feel like you're wrong for doing that. And it could even be as well like people around you are having families and you're not ready to do that. It could be like family members around you, everybody has kids and you don't. Or it could be the other way where nobody has kids and you want that family life. Whatever it is, that's your thing and that's your frequency, and you have a right to follow that and not feel like you have to mold into what somebody else would want from you, you know. And you're not worthy for something not aligning and working out. I hope that makes sense. You also have the Anointed, answer the call, leadership, empowerment, soul gifts. Yeah, there's something about staying in your own energy and not kind of similar to pile number 1. Like there was a part of the end of pile number 1 where I was talking about self-abandonment, and there's something here about not self-abandoning. You could even be maybe in like an anxious avoidant situation with a partner, or just a person where they're being avoidant and shutting down, and then you feel like you need to self-abandon to bring them back and soothe you. That fits what's coming through, to be honest. And it could also be like you maybe going within and being like, oh, what did I do to make them shut down? What did I do to make them pull away? But there's a reference here to just stay in your energy and don't feel like you have to chase or bring them back to be worthy. The right person's gonna just align with you, you know? If you would like me to do a reading on like healing wounds like that, or like a shadow reading in terms of that and going deeper, I can. Part of me tapping into this feels like you've got it, but then that could also be just like spirit saying this is the message for now. But if you would like me to do a reading and we can go into those wounds and do a deeper one, just let me know in the comment section and we'll get into that. But funnily enough, the back of the deck is trust the seasons, embrace and change, cycle of life, transition and growth. Yeah, so I wonder if maybe you've grown apart from someone, or frequencies have changed. Maybe you've grown, somebody's chosen not to. Maybe you both grown just in different ways, or maybe this is like a situation where something's just not fitting and working, even though you would have liked it to. But you know, really honor your cycles and honor your energy. You're not, you know, you don't have to mold yourself into another shape for somebody else. Stay where you're at in terms of what feels right for you. Don't abandon what feels right for you. And if things are feeling resistant, come back to your energy and just ground a second and just listen to what you need, because you'll find the more you do that, you'll be able to see stronger, this isn't right for me, this is, you know. So yeah, pile 3, that is what I have for you. I really hope that you got what you needed from the reading today. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.